There's a line between legend and oblivion. Some men cross it with medals and fanfare, others with silence. War makes ghosts of heroes, and time buries them twice. Today we remember one man who shouldn't have been forgotten. A sniper who struck fear into an empire and came home to nothing. As a new world record echoes across the battlefields of Ukraine, we turn our sights back a century, to the cliffs of Gallipoli, to a wiry kid from Queensland, the deadliest shot Australia has ever produced. Hi, I'm Xander Lucas and this is the XLBrief. In a former life I served in the military and the police, and today we're going to talk about the longest kill and a forgotten legend. If stories like this hit you in the chest, and if you believe our heroes deserve better than silence, then help me keep their names alive. Hit subscribe, follow the XLBrief, and share this episode with someone who still believes in courage, craft, and country. Because these just aren't war stories. They're mirrors of who we are when the noise fades, and the only thing left is the shot that echoes through history. War changes, weapons evolve, but the sniper, he never does. He's the ghost on the ridge, the quiet heartbeat between life and death. And just recently, that ghost stirred again, because a new world record had just been set, and it reminds us of an Australian most people have never heard of. A man who once struck fear into the empire, and then died alone, forgotten by his own country. In August 2025, deep in the Donetsk region of Ukraine, a sniper from the elite ghost unit lay prone behind a weapon few had ever seen up close, the Snipex Alligator, a 14.5mm anti-material rifle capable of punching through steel at extreme range. His target, 2 Russian soldiers over 4,000 meters away. He fired once, 1 shot, 2 kills, a new world record. Drone footage and AI-assisted optics confirmed it. A single round, 7 seconds of flight time and 2 men down. The previous record, a 3,540 metre kill by a Canadian J2F sniper team in Iraq in 2017, had stood for nearly a decade. Before that, Craig Harrison of the British Army, 2,475 metres in Afghanistan. And long before any of them, Carlos Hathcock, the White Feather of Vietnam, 2,286 metres with a scoped 50 caliber machine gun. Now the ghost of Ukraine has stretched that line of precision almost half a kilometre further. A modern record for a modern war. But the craft, the art of patience, wind and silence remains ancient. Men like Carlos Hathcock defined the craft, a US Marine Corps sniper in Vietnam officially credited with 93 kills, though the real number was far higher. Once crawled for 3 days through snake-infested jungle inch by inch to assassinate a North Vietnamese general. 1 shot, mission complete. He left without a trace. Decades later came Chris Kyle, the American sniper. A Navy SEAL with 160 confirmed kills, his book became a global bestseller and a blockbuster film starring Bradley Cooper. He turned the rooftop Overwatch into a modern mythology. But here's the thing, one of the finest snipers to ever live didn't wear a trident or an Eagle Globe and Anchor. He didn't train at Quantico or Coronado. He came from a small Queensland town called Claremont, population barely 1,000. His name, Billy Singh. Before drones, before laser rangefinders, there was a wiry bushman lying silent in the dirt of Gallipoli. Born in 1886, the son of a Chinese father, John Singh, and an English mother, Mary Ann Pugh, Billy grew up in the Queensland scrub with a rifle in his hand and survival on his mind. Every shot counted. Not for sport, but for supper. The kind of discipline that can't be taught. When the Great War broke out, Billy enlisted in the 5th Light Horse Regiment, Australian Imperial Force. He arrived at Gallipoli in May 1915, where the chaos, mud and death ruled every hour. Armed with a Lee Enfield Mark III fitted with a scavenged periscopic sight, Billy built his own hides overlooking the Turkish lines near Chatham's Post. At his side was his spotter, a New Zealander, Jack Idris, who would later ride of him in the desert column. They would lie in the dust for hours, waiting, watching, a shadow, a helmet, the glint of a button, then crack. Another enemy fell. No wasted shots, no second chances. Each confirmed kill was marked on a plank of wood beside them in the trench. By the time he left, it was full. 201 confirmed kills, though his mates swore it was closer to 300. The Turks called him the Silent Death. His own men, he was the assassin. His legend spread like wildfire through the Turkish ranks. Soldiers refused to raise their heads above the trench. 1 exposed inch could mean instant death. The Ottoman commanders needed an answer, so they found one. A crack sniper known as Abdul the Terrible. A master marksman from the desert. He was patient, cunning, ruthless. Sent with one mission, find Billy Singh and end him. For days they hunted each other across the lines. Abdul studied the terrain, laying decoys and mirrors to bait the Australian. Bullets snapped over Billy's hide, splintering the sandbags inches from his face. Neither man flinched. Soldiers said it was like watching two hawks circling, waiting for one to blink. Then one morning, Billy saw it, a flicker of sunlight glinting off glass nearly a kilometre away. He adjusted for wind, waited. Abdul leaned forward. Billy exhaled. Crack! Abdul fell back, dead before he hit the trench floor. The duel was over. The assassin had won. Even the Turks who hated him admired the shot, because on both sides of the peninsula, every man respected precision. For Billy, it wasn't about glory. It was about protecting his mates. Every shot meant one less bullet coming their way. As the Anzacs withdrew from Gallipoli in December 1915, Billy looked out from the ridge one last time, over the empty trenches, the ghosts of thousands. He'd survived where few did. But no one knew what to do with men like him once the killing had stopped. He had no fanfare when he left, just silence, and that silence would follow him for the rest of his life. He should have come home a legend, but nobody was waiting. No bands, no parades. Just a return to a country that was trying its best to move on from the horrors of war. Discharged in 1918, wounded and worn, Billy took whatever work he could find. A labourer, a prospector, a shearer. He carried shrapnel in his body, the ghost of Gallipoli in his head, and a war pension that barely kept him fed. The government that sent him to fight had no place for him in peace. He lived alone in a cheap boarding house around Brisbane, keeping to himself, quiet, polite, but invisible. By 1943, at just 57 years of age, the silent death of Gallipoli was found dead in his room in West End. No medals on the wall, no family by his side. His body lay for days before anybody noticed. The Courier Mail carried a single line: a pensioner found deceased in his room. That's how Australia said goodbye to its most lethal sniper. He should have been a national hero. His name in school books, his face on a stamp. Instead, he was another forgotten veteran. And that's the tragedy that echoes still. Because Billy Singh's story isn't just his. It's the story of how this country treats its warriors when the fighting stops. We build statues decades later, but statues don't feed a veteran. They don't heal trauma, and they sure as hell don't repay a debt of honour. That is the price of silence. Today, a bronze statue stands in Claremont, Queensland. Billy's rifle in hand, eyes fixed on the horizon. A small plaque marks his grave in a Brisbane cemetery. He's finally remembered, but only after a lifetime of being forgotten. From Gallipoli's cliffs to Ukraine plains, the creed hasn't changed. One shot, one kill. The tools evolve: scopes, sensors, AI, but the heart behind the trigger remains human. Patient, precision, purpose. Billy Singh was Australia's first true sniper. A man who didn't need medals or movies, just a rifle, a steady hand, and a reason. From the trenches of 1915 to the drones of 2025, snipers have shaped the battlefield and defined the unseen cost of war. But among the names, Hathcock, Kyle, the ghost of Ukraine, one name deserved to be spoken louder and prouder: William Billy Singh. He was proof greatness doesn't need recognition, only remembrance. Billy Singh never asked for glory. He did his job, one pull of the trigger at a time. But heroes like him don't vanish. They just fade, waiting for someone to remember. From the ghosts of Gallipoli to the ghosts of Ukraine, the craft lived on. This was Shadows at a Distance, the longest kill, the forgotten legend. I'm Xander Lucas, and this is the XLBrief. Stay sharp, stay grateful, and never forget the ones who never missed. This episode of the XLBrief is proudly brought to you by Loudon Private Wealth, a financial advisory firm trusted by professionals, veterans and families across Australia to build real long-term financial security. If you're a current or former serving member of the military or first responder, ask yourself this honestly: are you actually getting the most out of your super? For most people in uniform, the answer is no. That's where Loudon Private Wealth comes in. The firm is led by Warren Loudon, a former Australian Special Forces soldier who understands this world from the inside out. He's worn the uniform, lived the operational life, and knows exactly how and where servicemen and women get shortchanged, and more importantly, how to fix it. Warren served his country once on the battlefield, and he continues that service today by helping veterans and first responders protect their future, grow their wealth, and retire with every dollar they've earned. This isn't hype. There are no gimmicks, just smart strategy, straight advice, and real-world experience from people who actually get it. If you want to take control of your finances, safeguard your future, and start building generational wealth, Loudon Private Wealth are the team you want in your corner. Check out the link in the bio. Take control of your future with Loudon Private Wealth. Book an obligation-free financial assessment or follow Loudon Private Wealth on Instagram. Thanks for watching this one. Click one of the videos on the screen right now for more XLBrief content.